Welcome to Raptors Recon. And today's subject is it's a little theory crafting. What if Rey has no parents? What if it's all a big ruse? So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Something I've been wanting to do for a while after watching the dumpster fire that was The Last Jedi. But anyway, there's been a lot of back and forth as far as who's Rey's parents, Um, Kylo Ren basically said they were drunks that tried to sell her off. And, you know, could it be that she's related to Luke? Could it be that she's related to Leia, the Emperor? I mean, there's all kinds of things going around. So, with that, what I thought would be kind of wild is what if Rey had no parents at all? Maybe she is the result of cloning. Now, it's not a stretch. We had the Clone Wars, right? So what if Rey herself was a clone? So I asked myself, so how could this be? Who would she be a clone of? I mean, it could come in a number of ways. Perhaps it is a clone of Darth Vader. The Empire, had plenty of his DNA and such available. So that, it could be a clone, of Anakin directly. It could also be that she is a clone of Luke Skywalker in a way. Maybe they recovered his hand and started doing some genetic experimentation. It could be that she's a clone of the Emperor. I know in the EU, basically, he had clones of himself, and obviously the Sith were able to possess bodies and different things like that through essence transfer. So that could be a plausible um, source. So let's say she is a clone. Um, you could say, well, if she's a clone of, Luke or the Emperor or, Anakin, it's a girl, right? It's a woman. How could that be? Well, I mean, there's genetic engineering. Perhaps during the cloning process, they were having difficulty trying to replicate force abilities. So, I mean, I know George Lucas came out with midichlorians. Maybe they were having trouble with manifesting any significant force power within Rey. So, in order to get this to work, they had to run numerous tests, numerous things, um, and perhaps perhaps when they did that, maybe these clones, were kind of discarded, and they were trashed, no longer of use to whoever was creating them. Um, so maybe she was just one of the copies that ended up working. I mean, I try to think back to the Aliens movie where they cloned Ripley and they spliced her with the aliens DNA, and as wild as that was, you can use that as a picture. Maybe there were multiple iterations of cloning of whoever it was, whether it was Luke, Anakin, um, Palpatine, or somebody else, and those iterations all failed and were discarded, but hers was successful. Now, tying it into the people who we see and think that are her parents, maybe these two people were scientists, and those scientists said, they finally, maybe they didn't know that they were discarding these children, and they find out about this. And so after they find out about this, and they also discover right around the same time that Rey has the force potential that they're seeking, maybe they like go in there and destroy the records and try and bail her out, and they try to basically put her into hiding. So maybe they raise her in hiding, and the the Empire slash the First Order is on her trail, or on the scientist, the mom and dad figure, the mother father figure. Maybe they're on their trail, and they feel like, this is it. We're gonna get caught. We need to get her somewhere safe. So they basically take her to Jakku, um, and that's where we get to see that scene in The Force Awakens. She's hidden there, and she's always waiting for them to come back. Maybe they say that they tell her that they're gonna try to come back, but when they leave, they're captured, killed, because they won't reveal where she is, and there's her story. So, anyway, it's just a theory. I doubt it's true, but I mean, there's so many different theories out there. It's one that that I thought of, trying to make some sense of it all when uh, in The Last Jedi was that basically saying that she had no really parents of significance, that they were drunks. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't seem pretty plausible. And then that whole scene with in the dark side cave there, looking in the mirror, where she just sees herself when she's looking for her parents and stuff. She sees copies of herself. Maybe those copies are because there were copies of her because she was a clone. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this theory crafting segment, and may the force be with you. See you.